Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video about functional neurological disorder. So I was trying to kind of work it out in my mind of a series to share with how I've been going about navigating this diagnosis. So I thought I'd kind of just do like a treatment series of things that I have tried and tested for this disorder. So the first one I'm going to cover is medications. That's so far been like one of the biggest treatments, and the one that my doctor has essentially prescribed. So when I was in the hospital, I tried many different medications, including lamotrigine, Keppra, and Ativan. And those were more when they were thinking I had epilepsy. And so when there was a confirmation that I did not have epilepsy, I'm sitting like in the forest and I feel like there's bugs in between my toes. Yeah. So when I was hospitalized, they finally gave me Clonazepam, which is close to Ativan, and it's a benzo. And so that was the medication that they kind of gave me to manage my symptoms. So my symptoms were tics, tremors, and seizures. So they're called non-epileptic seizures, or pseudo seizures or psychogenic seizures. So yeah, it took a while to get better with the medication. I wouldn't say that the medication was what got me better. There was other treatments that I used aside of that, but I'll talk about that in a different video. So I was taking 3 milligrams of clonazepam in a day, so it was broken up into 3 times a day. So yeah, and that was quite sedating. I was quite out of it most of the time, not really myself. And then once I was more stable, kind of gaining back walking, but I was still having symptoms every day, the doctor wanted to switch me off of clonazepam and put me on something else that was meant for long term. So clonazepam does quite a number on your brain. You become dependent on it, and it is quite hard to come off once you're on it. Sometimes it takes people years to wean down, and so they don't recommend it for long-term use. So once they found out that it was a functional disorder, I was kind of handed off to the psychiatrist, and she from there wanted to try and treat it with a medication called pregabalin. And from my understanding, it's meant for like seizures, convulsions, pain, and a little bit of anxiety and mood. And so I take 100 milligrams 3 times a day, so 300 milligrams in a day. And it's taken a while to get up to that dose, and I would say that possibly that's been helping. I've come a far way since I've gotten diagnosed, and yeah, significantly better. I still have a lot of stress and anxiety and panic attacks, and I think now it's kind of managing the stress, because that is a huge trigger of mine. And that'll be another video of what my triggers are. But yeah, so I'm currently weaning down from clonazepam. I am at 1.5 milligrams a day, And so every 2 weeks I come down an eighth of a milligram. So it's been a long weaning process. And when I got halfway, the first time I tried to wean down, I had noticed a spike in seizures, even the ability to walk. I had to use my wheelchair for the first time in a long time. And so, yeah, I had to go right back up to my beginning dose and then come down slower. I would say that this has been quite jarring for me. The weaning process has been really hard experience. Nausea, headaches, fatigue, irritability. Every time I come down, it takes me a while to get used to it, and then I come down another dose. So it's quite constant, and I think I'll be done weaning in September, and so I've been weaning for a while. And hopefully when I'm done, I'll be able to see kind of what my symptoms are, because as well, like, I think every time I wean it also affects my tremors and everything else. So then I went to see the neurologist on July 29th. So I saw a neurologist in the beginning, like in March, to do an EEG, to make sure I wasn't having seizures. And so at that same time, they kind of put out a referral to 2 different neurologists, and whoever picked it up first, then that's who I would go to see. And so there was a Vancouver neurologist who comes down to Prince Rupert, which is the next town over for me, and Vancouver is a big city down south from us, so they're kind of up north here. We don't have a lot of medical resources, so that's a whole other topic. But anyways, there's a big doctor who comes down to Rupert to help us folk. And so when they had called me for the appointment, they said, if you want a second opinion, you can keep the appointment. And and see this neurologist. So I decided to keep the appointment because I just wasn't sure what. There's not a whole lot of clarity on the diagnosis. And I think, like, in the city, there's people that specialize in this disorder, and so I went to see him, and he's a very nice doctor. He recommended that I change my medication, and said that something like Seroquel, and I think the actual name is quetiapine. I can't say it properly. I used to take that. It can also help with tics, and that maybe would be better for mood. But the side effects are more prominent. And so I've taken that medication before, and the side effects are, they're not like the most negative, but like mostly drowsy. And it causes a lot of drowsiness. So I'm thinking about following up with my doctor to change that medication. And he said it can be also taken on top of the pregabalin if my psychiatrist thinks that I need to continue that one for, like, keeping my tremors under control and the seizures, and then something more for mood and tics. He also said that there was a therapy that I could go to control my tics, but I don't think that we have that here as well. And then the last thing was that, again, I think I've talked about this in previous videos, I've been referred to go down to Vancouver to a movement clinic and to see somebody who specializes in my disorder. So yeah, that's kind of the medication side of what I've been experiencing for the last 6 months. Ooh, the sun just went under the clouds, so you can't see me anymore. Yeah, there is a lot of different ways to treat the disorder, and so medication is just one side. Unfortunately, I think it is a big side. I don't know that you can go without treating the disorder without medication, although I have not talked to a whole lot of other people with my disorder. I've talked to a few people on Facebook through the Functional Neurological page, and I highly recommend that if you have this disorder to join that Facebook page. There's just so much insight and so much community and support. Yeah. So I'll continue kind of going through adding videos about the disorder, and I think the next thing I'll cover is alternative treatments, and yeah, that will be fun. That has been a huge part of my life. Currently, I don't really know what to expect. Just trying to stay positive. I'm starting to get a little bit stir crazy. I think we're gonna go on a trip soon. Go travel a little bit. Thankfully, like anywhere I can go in a car and be close to a car is good for me. I haven't been able to do any sort of things that I usually would do in the summer, like hiking. I don't usually leave and go to places without Josiah because he kind of understands my disorder and he can like pick me up and carry me. And I just do not want to put that responsibility on anybody, and it's really hard for me to kind of know like where I'm at and my warning signs all the time. So yeah, been trying to live life to the fullest. I just went to a family music festival on the weekend, and I was not feeling good, so I missed a lot of the music and slept a lot. But I did get to buy some really cool earrings. They're like, yeah, a woman from Smithers. I'll link her name in below there. As well as I met somebody who did acupuncture, and he gave me some ear seeds, which are little seeds that are tape, and they like tape them in pressure points in your ear that are connected to organs and emotions, and then you kind of like push on them. So that was really cool. We also did a float down a it's called the Kispiox River, but it like wasn't, I'd almost say like that part. It was quite small. It is moving quite fast, but I was terrified. I wouldn't have done it without Josiah being on the floaty because I don't like moving water, and it's hard to get out of the, if you want to like get out and go back to land, you have to like swim and kick really hard, and I think I just would have panicked the whole time. Yeah, and he's away in the Nass Valley right now, which is this beautiful First Nations land. I don't really know how to explain it from like where Terrace is if you're not familiar, but it's, yeah, really beautiful, lots of reserves, very kind of quiet, and he's close to an ocean inlet, and so there's no cell phone service up there. So I'm thinking about taking a week and going out there, just being at home and still navigating like what I can do independently. I've been stuck in my head a lot and just having a lot of anxiety, so I think it'll be good to get away. And then we're maybe gonna try and plan a trip to go somewhere and do a little road trip, because that's what makes both of us really happy. And I know he's working really hard, so yeah. anyways, hopefully this video was helpful to anybody or educational to anybody. Yeah, it's super sunny here in Terrace, BC. It's been really nice. You know it's not gonna last forever, so enjoy the sun if you guys have sun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. It helps a lot. Bye.